Why are you excited to be here tonight?
Because I'm just excited.
Yeah. No other explanation. Now, I do believe, tell me the truth. Is it true that your dad has a ringside seat, but didn't get you guys ringside seats?
That is true, but it's because of his YouTube channel, okay? It's his YouTube, okay?
Her dad's an influencer. Let him go, guys. But your dad's awesome, right?
Yeah.
See, he's awesome! Yeah! Give it up for Claire. Thank you so much, Claire. High five. Yeah.
Hey guys, check this out. I am officially now sponsored by Dubby. Dubby is a clean energy drink made to give you focus with no crash. If you guys are like me, you're always needing a burst of energy, especially with one with no crash. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. It keeps me awake with no jitters, guys. Check it out. Merch link is in the bio. Dubby.
So, what day is it today?
Tuesday?
Wrong. It's NWA Day.
They want NWA? Let's give them NWA.
I was thinking that it might be a good idea if you and I formed an alliance.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Attention, everyone. Welcome to the greatest wrestling program in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
Okay, let's party.
It's the pre-party with J. Cal.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the pre-party, a presentation of alliance-wrestling.com.
What day is it today?
My name is J. Cal, and this is the pre-party. And sometimes I get the audio right, and it doesn't keep going after I start the video. Again, this is the pre-party. We're getting you all set up, ramped up, and fired up for the NWA Power exclusively on the X. Again, my name is J. Cal, and every Tuesday I come to you to talk NWA with that hashtag NWA fam. And I see a lot of my pals, a lot of my friends, a lot of my cohorts are here in the chat. We're also broadcasting live on TikTok. Might be in the final days of TikTok. I never got down to dances. I never got them down. Anyways, Willie Bone with the Tyrus joke of the week. Hey, J. Cal, Tyrus has a new job. He's the before model in a weight loss ad. Because you see, Tyrus is a large fella. Tyrus is not what I would call a skinny individual. He is a very large man, both in personality, finances, and weight. Bobby Bettino's in the house. What's up, Bobby? See, we got Double B and we got Double D. Devin Dowling's in the house. Her dad seems like a decent guy. He's all right. Dad's a good guy. Got Sam Retro in the house. Happy NWA Day. It is. David Valentine with breaking news. We should call it faking news, David. Billy Corgan sells the alliance to former wrestling executive Kerry Silkin, which was news to me because he never even asked me if the alliance was for sale. Hardcore Games fans. My new friend that I met on TikTok today, I think I met you for the first time today, Hardcore Games. What's up, guys? How you doing? Roger. Nice to meet you. Your name's Roger? I'll call you Roger, or I'll call you Hardcore Games, whatever you want. What's your favorite TV champion match of the Billy Corgan era? That's a good one. Let me get back to you on that. I mean, I really did enjoy Pope's run as TV champion. I think he was the measuring stick for all of the TV champions in the NWA Lightning One era. His championship, I felt, carried the most weight. So it would probably have been a Pope match. I'm trying to think who else has been TV champion. Mims' run as TV champion was short. Carson Bartholomew is just won the title. Maxie Impaler did nothing really of merit, so I can't really brag about Max. I mean, Max was the first non-binary wrestler to hold the title, but outside of that, there was nothing really earth-shattering, groundbreaking about their run as champion. I guess Tom Latimer was TV champ. I got to be honest. I don't really have a good answer for you. Someone on TikTok asked me who my favorite WWE wrestler of all time is. I mean, I've got one favorite wrestler of all time right now, and that is Samoa Joe. That's my guy. He will always be my guy. The fact that Samoa Joe didn't have a WrestleMania match against Brock Lesnar for the World's Heavyweight Championship will always be the biggest fumble to me in the WWE. And like I said, Willie Bowen's in the house, Sam Retro's in the house, Double D, Double B, we're all here. Jeremy's here. How much better is the ad revenue on Twitter X compared to YouTube? Jeremy, we're not on Twitter. We're on Twitch. Excuse me. Yeah, we're on Twitch. Twitter X. The thing about being monetized on Twitter or X is it's all about engagement. So first and foremost, you have to pay to be. You have to pay them to be a part of their compensated creators on X. You pay them to be verified, and then you can earn revenue on there. And then it's all based on engagement, which is an interesting way to go. If people really like your content, then I imagine it's easier to make money. But we don't even broadcast on X because I don't want to pay to be on that platform, especially that platform. There's other platforms I'd consider, but not that one. I don't need to put any more money into Elon's hands. He's got plenty. Bobby agrees with me. The Pope as TV champion was great. And I like Ricky Starks too. It just was so short. Like, he won the title in the tournament, then he lost it to Zicky Dice, and I think the plan was eventually that Starks would win it back. But then we hit the pandemic, and then we didn't see the TV champion for a long time. And then Zicky Dice would end up losing the TV title to the Pope at the United Wrestling Network's Primetime Live event. And Pope would be TV champion entering the NWA post pandemic. Yeah, don't forget. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that. Yeah, guys, if you enjoy this content, and that's the other thing that I was trying to preach. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram. TikTok might be going away, right? It's a fact. It's being banned. But as I tried to encourage any of my viewers on TikTok right now, like, hey, if you like the content, man, we're producing lots of content here on YouTube, on Meta, on X, on Blue Sky. I mean, we're everywhere on social media. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button because we're growing. This channel is about to hit 6,000, probably before the end of springtime. I picture we'll be there. So if you enjoy this content, if you enjoy my zany takes, and it's not just me. I mean, we have the Alliance guys, we have the other Alliance guys, and who knows, maybe we'll add more programming to the future in 2025. We'll see. Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate you liking the video. Willie, I was doing some can crushing earlier today too, man. Yeah, get that money. And thanks for the gifts on TikTok. I appreciate you guys handing out those gifts. Double D says, "Aye, Jeremy, it sounds nice. Willie, I might bust ass for like 30 minutes and play some Madden." Nice. Willie, Samoa Joe should have been in the NWA. For all intents and purposes, had the, TNA wrestling, which I do like quite a bit. I always get mad that they could have put the NWA World Title on Samoa Joe and they didn't. And they kept the belt on Jeff Jarrett a little bit too long as far as I'm concerned. And one run for Joe as World's Heavyweight Champion, I mean, that would have been killer. Samoa Joe to the Alliance would be awesome. I mean, don't hold your breath. I don't know. I don't think any of them would want to go to the NWA. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but like Tony Khan's got deep pockets. And if Tony Khan's paying you to wrestle on, TBS or on Max, I mean, it's a better gig than, working on X. Yeah. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Jeremy says, I know where we are, Jay. I'm commenting on Billy now. I want to go back. Oh, sorry, Jeremy, missed it. Yeah, I don't know, man. If you believe, it's all catching myself here. I don't know specifics, right? I'm not working for the NWA. I've never held a job with the National Wrestling Alliance. I've never been in official capacity of any way for the NWA. I've only ever talked to Billy Corgan maybe 3 times face-to-face, and never discussed YouTube or posting on Twitter or anything like that. I would say that financially, I don't think Power makes money for Billy Corgan. What he puts into production alone, I think, would eat up any money he would make via X, right? And his big complaint was he wasn't making enough money on YouTube, which I could totally agree to that. Like, again, each one of these episodes is probably costing upwards of $5,000, maybe more. And not the night of taping, each episode, because you're paying for people to hold cameras, you're paying for people to wrestle, right? You're paying for people to produce, to direct, to document, to push on social media. You're paying buildings to have these matches, and you're paying for ring rentals. You're paying for all this stuff. I don't know that you could be making any money if you're not, with the TV deal, right? Like, where you're being paid to make this content. X isn't paying Billy Corgan. Like, again, Billy Corgan, the NWA, is a verified content creator, which means they probably pay for that. And I'm sure they're making money on X. I'm not saying that they're not making money. I mean, these videos, these matches are being seen by like 60,000 people. They got to be generating some kind of revenue. And then the engagement on X it helps build that audience. But he can't be making enough money on X to cover the production of the wrestling show. And then going back to YouTube, I mean, look, as a YouTube creator, I see how much money that I make, and I know that Billy has like triple my audience. Like, the NWA has got like 300,000 subscribers now. I think they're doing it smart by having individual matches as opposed to the whole show, because the likelihood that someone will watch one match, I think, is greater than watching a whole hour of wrestling. And that might sound crazy to some people, but I think it's smart. Because if they watch one match, maybe they'll watch 2 matches. Maybe they'll watch 3 matches. They don't have to watch the entire show, and you're still generating revenue off of the people watching 1 or 2 matches. I think it's a smart move for Billy to have a presence on YouTube, to release matches on YouTube, and not release the full show. And you can always flip that and do the same thing. You could be releasing individual matches on X. I think the plan is at some point that they're going to try to get back on a deal with, paid content creation. I think that's ultimately everybody's goal, is to get paid to do this, to make content, so we'll see. I don't know. Bobby said, I watched New Japan Battle in the Valley for Johnny Robbie and TMDK members Shane Haste and Bad Dude Tito last Saturday. Shane Haste, and like, all 3 of those people are awesome. I very much enjoy TMDK. Bad Dude Tito, I think, is an amazing talent. Shane Haste, I don't know why not everybody would book Shane Haste and Bad Dude Tito. I mean, Tito was just recently the MLW Openweight champion. I think he still holds that title. Shane Haste, I think he does work New Japan and New Japan Strong, but I think he's available to work almost anywhere else. I can't believe that guy's phone isn't ringing all the time. Thanks for the gift, Jared. I appreciate you. Yeah, Jared, I know you guys love your fans. I know the NWA loves its fans. I think the fans love you too. We just want more. We just want to see more. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. If you had an audience that did not want to watch the NWA, then that would be problematic. I think the fans want it. I think we just want it a little bit different. Morning. Tim, where do you live if it's morning? Excuse me. Morning, everyone. Anyone have any inkling as to what Billy's announcement is? Something sus about the Shockwave name and NWA prior use of it for TV. what is the announcement? I don't know, man. We kind of got swerved the last time. The last time they did that big announcement was, okay, so obviously there was an announcement during the TV tapings, and this might just be that same announcement when they were in Forney, before Forney, Texas. They were down in Texas to announce the NWA Shockwave, to announce the NWA Texas relationship. I don't know if maybe there's another member in Texas, but like the last big announcement we got was during the 76th anniversary show, where Billy didn't really give us much of an announcement. So I'm hoping that we get a real announcement, but also with that being said, who knows? And I'm not hating, right? Like, if they're going to announce a title match, like, that's just as cool to me as anything else. I'm not expecting breaking news that's going to break the internet, right? And if that's what you're expecting, I don't think you're going to get it. But if you're expecting, like, maybe they're going to announce a title match, or they're going to announce an upcoming event, maybe a location for Crockett Cup, I mean, that would be dope, right? I got to go to Crockett Cup last year in Forney, Texas, and it was a blast. I had such a great time. The wrestling, the tournament matches were mostly good. I had a few complaints. The OC Theater looked way better in the pictures I saw this time around for Shockwave than it did for Crockett Cup. Crockett Cup seemed a little loosey-goosey. I don't want to put anyone down, but I feel like they could have done a better job, and I feel like they did do a better job because I saw some of the photos from Shockwave, and the crowd looked a lot better. Hardcore Games, thanks for the sub, bro. And I'm going to hit you back when I get a chance. I'll give you that sub back. Shogun, my friend, the great Hisa, my mentor. I'm under the tutelage of great Hisa. I sit under his learning tree. Hi, I'm guessing Corgan's major announcement will be about yet another new title. Oh no, the NWA Texas International 6-Woman Tag Team Championship, or some shit like that. Look. They have not announced. They haven't announced the main event yet for Hard Times 5. That's my good friend Mike Mayhem, Wrestle Rant on TikTok. That's what he suggested. It could be that, and I wouldn't have a problem with that. That'd be great. It'd be great to have. One of the problems with the NWA's taping format is, I love getting as much content as I can from the NWA. I watch it every Tuesday or Thursday. Sometimes I don't watch it on Tuesday. I'll watch it on Thursday. I also enjoy watching some of the matches on YouTube. Sometimes they release matches that were from months ago. Some of it's more current. Some of it's stuff that just hadn't been released. But the problem is they tape a lot of these matches, and then they have this schedule of how they release content. So the matches that they're filming, that they filmed in Forney, Texas, I don't think we're even going to see till maybe March. And I know that's not their, I don't think they're intentionally behind on recording, but I just feel like, they don't have a presence for pay-per-views right now. I don't think they want to record a pay-per-view or signature live event and then release it as one episode when, again, they're going to be making more money from X and from YouTube if they break those pieces up. I think it would behoove them to release these signature live events as a pay-per-view, even if it's on YouTube as a pay-per-view. I mean, look, there is an audience there that would pay for that. I'd pay for that. I'd pay to watch it. I'd pay, $10 to watch it on YouTube. My guy, Wrestle Rant, also says he thinks Mims is going to go to NXT within the next year. Mims is big. Mims is strong. Mims is a hell of a talent. I like Mims quite a bit. I want to see what him and G's do as the national champion. I think there's a lot of potential for good stuff there. Let's see. TV, surely not. If Markova only had an Instagram post for her TSW women's title win, I'd imagine the announcement is going to be a little better. I hope. We'll see. Bobby says he likes watching Matt Vandergriff on New Japan. I hope NJPW keeps him around. I do too. David says, Jake Howell, the NWA needs a TV contract with Ion TV. I mean, like, look. All right. I'm a little biased, right? I can say that. I've known Dave Marquez since 2002. That's 23 years. Dave Marquez has been producing pro wrestling television for almost the entirety of that 22 years. What Dave Marquez has been able to do with first with Memphis, of course, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood too. I think that was a very good mix to have the United Wrestling Network on those two different platforms. Now, obviously, they haven't produced any new content. They'll be back at it on February the 25th. But as for now, with the NWA, I feel like if the NWA were to secure even a local deal somewhere, and I'm looking at you, Dothan, Alabama, just on the local market, on the local KCOP. I say KCOP, you guys don't know what that is. On a local Fox, on a local CW, on a local anything, and have a time slot for the NWA in that market, I think that would do them a lot of good. Being on Ion would be spectacular. I think Ion is still owned by another company, and I don't think they're an independent channel, so it's kind of hard to, read between the tea leaves who owns what. But yeah, of course, anytime that the NWA could get on a platform greater than what they're on now would be a huge win for the NWA. We recently saw the WWE make its Netflix debut. We have AEW on Max. Maybe there's a streaming home for the NWA. I know a lot of people kind of predict Peacock because Carneyland had recently has been on Peacock. I wouldn't hold my breath for that, but it would be amazing. Could you imagine? As the Universal deal wraps up with the WWE and Peacock loses the WWE network, if they were to turn that attention to the NWA? Obviously that there's a lot of hurdles to overcome because Universal is the parent company of Peacock. Universal has, USA, which airs, I almost said Nitro, SmackDown. So obviously there's some hurdles to overcome, but that would be a great place for Billy. Also, there's Amazon. And I know, look, Amazon Prime is not free, but it'd be a good home for the NWA if Billy was interested. But I don't know. I feel like WWE could have done more with Samoa Joe when he was there, storyline-wise. Agreed, 100%. Maybe that's the announcement. What's the announcement, Sam? It was nice seeing Mike Mondo in action last week on NWA Power against Ballz. I think Mondo's great. And I know he had that match with Mims, and I'm excited to see the fallout of that match. I can't wait to see it when it airs on TV. I think Mike Mondo is going to be a great addition to the NWA. I'm excited to see what he can do. Tim, you're from Australia. That's dope. Okay. Well, I'm friends with friends. I use that term loosely. I like the guy. What is it? I'm going to butcher it. All-Star Wrestling Australia. Pole Jump's my guy. I told the guys don't get hyped up in the Discord about this announcement. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a big deal. EC3 versus Latimer in a cage. Okay, man. I mean, Sean, you as much as everybody else, I love Tom Latimer as world's champion. I really want to see them do something with Tom. The problem is they have not built up a suitable challenger outside of EC3, and that's problematic. I was watching Raw on Monday night, and again, I know we're not talking WWE here, but there's multiple guys that would make a lot of sense to challenge, Gunther for the world's heavyweight championship, right? I mean, you got Damian Priest, right? Finn Balor's kind of sitting there, waiting for someone to tag him in. Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and that's the WWE, right? But you look over at the NWA, and who could you see being a legitimate threat other than EC3? Take his name out of your mouth. Who besides EC3 would be a good challenge for Tom Latimer? You could say Silas Mason, but go look at his win-losses at the moment. He's not riding a super high cloud right now. So who else? Who else would make sense? Tell me. I would love for there to be a guy like, yes, that's the guy that should be challenging. But right now, they haven't built anybody up storyline-wise. And wins and losses, I say this every week, wins and losses got to matter. They got to matter. Otherwise, what are we doing here? Bobby, you saw my post on Instagram. Yeah, I would love to see Pope and JTG in the Crockett Cup. I think they should be in the Crockett Cup. But who knows? The Crockett Cup was one of my favorite pay-per-views the NWA did. Then they turned it into 2 nights, and I thought that was cool too. And now it's a single night, but it's the signature live event, which means they use it as a 4 weeks of taping for Power. That's not awful. It's not the worst, but it gets lost in the sauce. A one-night tournament would feel much greater if it was live. And I know, again, that we're asking Billy to shoulder a lot of financial responsibility to do a live broadcast. But, man, I think the Crockett Cup and the 76th anniversary show hurt from being signature live events as opposed to pay-per-views. And there is an audience, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in this chat that would agree with me, that would love to have that option to buy it and watch it in one night. I would. If anything, Texas named the heavyweight territory title. But what would you call the Texas title? See, and that's the thing. They're even calling it NWA Texas with Dog Pound and the newest member, TSW, Texas Style Wrestling. They're calling that NWA Texas, and that's similar to what they did back in the last administration, the last ownership for the NWA. There was an area of Texas that they just, all the promotions kind of fell under the NWA Texas banner. It was like an alliance within the alliance. So you had like Texahoma, you had Branded Outlaw, you had NWA Lone Star, and they just all kind of went by that NWA Texas. There was more. I just can't remember them all right now. Willie says he wishes the North American title was back. Yeah, I mean, but I feel like they don't really need another title. I don't think that's the answer to any of the problems. I think they have enough title belts. I think they just need to make these, to make the champions relevant, they need to make the belts relevant. And it goes back to the old story. What came first? What's more important? Does the champion make the title, or does the title make the champion? In some cases, the champion can make the title. Going back to Adam Pearce, when he became world's heavyweight champion after the relationship with TNA ended, a lot of people had no respect, trust, loyalty, or anything to Adam Pearce. And he had to get out there and work his ass off to build credibility and to make the title meaningful. Because at that point, nobody cared about the NWA World title. Christian Cage wasn't defending it in the NWA territories. It was more or less the TNA title. And so when Adam Pearce won the title in Bayman, Puerto Rico by beating don't help me here, I'll get it. His name was Gunner in the WWE. Brent Albright. When he beat Brent Albright in Bayman, Puerto Rico in 2007, November 2nd, it really set off a chain of events. And at that point, Pierce wasn't somebody that largely was recognized as this great wrestler. He had to work his ass off to get there. And so that World's Heavyweight Championship, there's been a lot of guys that won the title and didn't really do a whole lot for it. And then there's guys who have gone and made that title bigger and better than what it was. Tyrus was a guy who won the title, and I don't think he added any value to the 10 pounds of gold. I'm just being real. What did he do? Like, he went to Mexico. But what did he do? Nothing. When you look at somebody like, EC3. EC3 went to Japan. I mean, that was a big deal. EC3 went all across the world defending that title. Huge deal. EC3 helped add credibility to the 10 pounds of gold. Jack Stain helped add credibility to the 10 pounds of gold. Tim Storm added credibility to the 10 pounds of gold. Nick Aldis carried a lot of credibility for the 10 pounds of gold. And there's been a lot of champions who just kind of benefited from that. But those guys really added value to the 10 pounds of gold. So Alabama, that would make me want to move back home. I mean, that's just one thing. Like, look, Dothan, Alabama shows up for the NWA. There's no mistake about it. That's why Hard Times 5 is there, no doubt. Looks at Kill was there. They announced that after the first show that sold out there. Like, yes, Of course, why not Dothan, Alabama? They are probably starved for great wrestling content. I don't think it's the NWA. Is let me say that differently. WWE doesn't go to Dothan, Alabama. All right, AEW doesn't go to Dothan, Alabama. MLW doesn't go to Dothan, Alabama. If the NWA goes there, guess what? The victor goes the spoils, man. And that's a great market for pro wrestling. They churn up for the NWA. Hell yeah, reward them. Make that your home territory, your home base. Like, I get it. Tampa's cool. But if Dothan, Alabama shows up the way they have, forget it, man. That's where I'd plant my flag right now is Dothan, Alabama. If I'm Billy Corgan in the NWA, yes, keep your territories in Chicago, keep your territories in St. Louis, in Texas, in Tennessee, and even in Florida. But Dothan, Alabama, that's where I would be putting 100% of my focus. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate you, man. You're a good friend. Noob is in the house. What's up, Noob? Melbourne. Nice. Mondo and the NWA just goes together. Glad he's on board. Me too. EC3, and yes, EC3J. I wish I knew what you're talking about. Oh, for challengers for the World's Heavyweight Champion. Yeah, I mean, EC3 is the guy. Like, look, he's the guy. He's going to win the title back at some point. But, God, I wish there was somebody else. You know, it's not that I don't like EC3. It's that we're seeing a repetition, too much of the same thing. I want variety. And if they had built up Silas Mason, oh, man, that'd been great. If they, gosh, he's the one half of the tag team champions, but what's stopping Trevor Murdoch from taking a shot at Tom Latimer or even EC3? He's a former world champion. He's a 2-time world champion. He'd be a great spot, a great addition. Dak Draper was great, but he doesn't have any wins or losses to make him credible in my eyes, not to challenge for the 10 pounds of gold. Same thing with Blake Bulletproof Troop. Troop is great. I like Troop a lot. I've met Troop. I've talked to Troop. He's a good dude. A lot of positive energy with that guy. But they didn't do him right in the NWA. And I'm not saying that you can't rebuild. I'm not saying you can't repackage, but like anything short of a Brock Lesnar style Bill Goldberg return to the NWA for Blake Bulletproof Troop, and I think you're just spinning your gears, man. He's a good wrestler. He's got a great hook. He's got a great promo. He doesn't need someone to speak for him. He is still fresh when it comes to wrestling. I'd like to see a lot more for him. But, yeah, Blake Troop, I would love to see him get pushed. That's the other gunner. So WWE had a gunner in Brent Albright. I can't remember what his name was. But the shooter, Brent Albright, was called Gunner in the WWE. And they put him with Chris Benoit, which was a wild pairing anyways. So who's credible to challenge Kenzie Paige for the women's title? Noob, it's the same problem. There isn't anybody at the moment. I mean, look, the women's division might be less the women's division actually might be a little bit more open than the men's division because you do have Natalia Markova, you do have Hailey J, you do have Tiffany Nieves, you do have some talented women that could slide into that title picture at any time. And then, of course, you have the non-binary nightmare, Maxine Taylor, who has been a thorn in Kenzie Paige's side. I wouldn't be shocked if Max came in and conquered the division and won the title, there it is. Tiffany Nieves, Natalia Markova, Freya the Slayer. I mean, I like Freya the Slayer, but Freya the Slayer hasn't really left a mark in the National Wrestling Alliance, at least on the power side, right? Like, yes, she's been involved in the JCP, and she did have a one-off on the Circled Squared program that was in 2019, 2020. But she hasn't really been built yet, No, Gunner is Phil Shatter. No, Phil Shatter was Gunner in TNA. Yeah, I like that. You guys are good. Was it a big deal, EC3? I don't know. I don't know if it's a big deal. I mean, I can only react as a fan, right? Like, I don't see the numbers. I'm not in the office, right? Nobody's telling me how much more money they're making with EC3 as champion as anybody else, or Tom Latimer than anybody else. But when EC3 held the title, he was taking it around the world. When EC3 was World Heavyweight Champion, he wrestled in All Japan Pro Wrestling. The historical significance of that alone helped to elevate the 10 pounds of gold. You cannot convince me otherwise. You can't tell me that EC3 taking the 10 pounds of gold to All Japan Pro Wrestling didn't help elevate the 10 pounds of gold. You can't convince me otherwise. Maybe it didn't do it for the large fans at home, but like to me, it meant something. It meant a lot. Billy needs to find a second Dothan and a third Dothan. Yeah, you're not wrong with that. And like, where do we look, right? Dothan, Alabama. I mean, like, look, as a person who lives in California, I've seen lots of my friends move, right? A lot of my friends have moved from California to Utah, have moved to Idaho. And there's less entertainment options in Idaho and Utah than there is in California. And, you know, I don't know that AEW goes to Utah or Idaho. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to say anything bad about any wrestling promotion here, but that seems like a market that might be underserved, that would love some fresh content, some fresh wrestling. And the NWA could fit that bill so easily. And like, they benefit from Dothan, Alabama. How could they not benefit from being in a place like, you know, Bismarck, Idaho? Bismarck is North Dakota. Boise, Idaho. Like, why not? Why not? Are you telling me you don't think that they could sell out there? There's nothing to do in Idaho. Eat potatoes. I would 100% build Mondo up for Latimer. We need variety. Yeah, Mondo would be great, yeah. But they haven't done it yet. He's got one victory on TV. And the problem with the way that the production schedule is, they did TV. He got a victory over somebody, Boz, and then now he's wrestling Mims at Looks at Kill. Or no, not Looks at Kill, Forney. Or maybe it was Looks at Kill. I don't know anymore. Brian Cage is signed to AEW, Ring of Honor. He's not around. Markova has had 5 chances to go after the women's world title, with Camille, 2 with Camille and 3 with Kenzie, who is currently the champion. Doesn't mean she's not. I would never count out Markova. Hailey F and J, nice. Wrestling with classics. I didn't agree with the title change. It's like they put it on Latimer and had nothing planned afterwards. Yeah, I can't argue with you on that. Like, I wanted Latimer to be champion. I like Latimer. I like the fact that he has kind of been the face of the franchise, right? Like, he's been here. He's one of the few guys that have been in the Lightning One era since day one-ish. And I like that he got his flowers. I like that he got the title belt, but they didn't have a plan for him. They still don't really have a plan for him. Lincoln, Nebraska, Cheyenne, Wyoming. Yeah, these are places that I feel like the NWA would kill it. I mean, because what's going on? No offense, but what's going on in Lincoln, Nebraska? What's going on in Cheyenne, Wyoming? Tell me that's not primed real estate for pro wrestling. I dare you to. Burchill's another guy that they need to build up, but unfortunately they haven't done it yet. That guy's had 3 opportunities to wrestle for a title or being in a position to wrestle for an opportunity for the title and has failed. And he's a great talent. He's a guy that I think they could do a lot with, but they haven't done anything yet. Nothing. Bozeman, Montana. Yeah, sure. Cheyenne, Ready to Rumble movie. Was that where they went? Was Cheyenne, Wyoming? Nice. The plan was to feud with EC3, says DKM. And maybe that was the plan, but I don't know, man. Look, there's things that they could have done to make this more interesting for everybody, and I don't think that they've succeeded at that quite yet. Now, things could change, obviously. But as of right now, there's not a whole lot for me to be excited about when it comes to the 10 pounds of gold. They just haven't done anything to make me say, yes, this is the match that I want to see. You know, and I feel like they failed to deliver, and that's problematic. And then on our TikTok channel, my buddy Chris says, seriously, what brand has a good programming going for their title holder? Most can't look beyond a year. Chris, look, I watched Raw last night for the first time in a long time. Main event Jey Uso challenges Gunther for the World's Heavyweight Championship on Saturday Night Main Event. Outside of that, I mean, you've got Phil Brooks, CM Punk waiting in the wings. You've got there's potential with John Cena to come back and wrestle for that title. Let's take those two guys out of the equation. You've got Damian Priest, who's still looking for his rematch or an opportunity to challenge for the title again. You've got Drew McIntyre, who would make a lot of sense challenging for that title again. I mean, there's so much that could happen. You know, when we talk about the NWA, I don't have the same feeling. I'm tired of EC3 right now, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, like, look, I like EC3, but what has he done to make me excited about, like, this whole invasion angle? It's like, it's Control Your Narrative 2.0. The worst thing about it is they didn't even put it on. They put him with these Exodus Pro guys. They put all the Exodus Pro guys in masks, so none of them got over by beating up Tom Latimer. None of them got FaceTime. It was just EC3 and his, you know, his henchmen. It's like, so what's the point of this? Like the NWO, at least those guys all, you know, like you could see, it was Hall, it was Nash, it was Waltman, it was DiBiase, it was Virgil, it was whoever they used. They had a face. You throw out these guys with masks on, it's like, all right. Okay, what's the point? Having Latimer run through the territory champions would be fine by me. I'm all for it. Look, Jeremiah Plunkett would have at least been interesting to me. You know, like, it's not trying to, first of all, not putting down Jeremiah Plunkett at all. He is your Mid-American Heavyweight Champion. If Mid-American Heavyweight Champion challenged Tom Latimer for a world title match, that would be compelling. Something interesting. You know, Tom, you sit up there in your ivory castle, you make the dates that Billy gives you, while I'm out here on the road proving who the real champion of the NWA is. I go from territory to territory to territory and prove who the best in wrestling is. You know, like that's all it takes, really. It doesn't take a whole lot. You know, I mean, that's how I feel anyways. I could be wrong. You know, it could be a horrible tragedy. Who knows? Exodus 6 is the Death Riders, but 20 times embarrassing. Oh, come on. It's not that bad. 20 times? It's not that bad. Punky versus Latimer would be fun. I think so. King Bees. I don't think the King Bees re-signed with the NWA. I think that was a one-year deal and they were out. I don't think they had any plans for them after dropping the titles to the It Girls, and I don't know if we'll see them again. I like them. They needed more women wrestlers. They need more tag teams, so I don't know why they would have ditched them. But as it is now, I don't see a future. I don't see a path for them right now in the NWA, and that's problematic. I hope that all 6 Exodus guys stay on the roster. I feel like we need some fresh faces. Also, I highly recommend Exodus. It reminds me of NXT Black and Gold and how much more entertaining it was for me as opposed to the main roster. I mean, that's saying something right there. That's very telling. And they did have that really cool. They did the live event that was available on YouTube. I don't know if the Saturday's event's going to be on YouTube. Probably not. I haven't seen it advertised, but I feel like that was a good opportunity to showcase that talent. JP Smooth, Eric Dante, I think that's his name. Man Bun Jesus, the Slime Ballz, Carson Bartholomew, Drake, all of those guys over at Exodus Pro, and that's what EC3 has said from time in, time out. Like, his talent at Exodus Pro are going to be able to be professionals anywhere, everywhere. So. Oh, they did say it'll be streamed. That's great. So you guys have something to watch on Saturday. Chris on the TikTok says NWA used to develop the champ by making them larger than life, rich, people's champ, and world known. Yeah. And I mean, they still kind of do that, right? But it's just not in the same level, I don't think, anymore. But that's enough about what I think. What do you guys think? I mean, we've got a big event planned for tonight. Of course, there's Billy Corgan's special announcement. It's major. It's a major award. It says for G-Leg right there on the box. Also, we are going to have a tag team match. The Miserably Faithful taking on Talos and Daisy Kill. I finally convinced DKN that Daisy Kill is pretty good. And it took a while for me to be convinced. Why are we putting them in this match? Okay. If we're going to go with for real, we're really going to go with Miserably Faithful as a tag team, then it makes a lot of sense. But as of right now, I'm not excited about this match, and I probably should be because I really do like Daisy Kill. I think Talos and Daisy should be a lot more imposing than what they've been. Now, they are two-time U.S. Tag Team Champions, so you got to give the Devils their due, right? Miserably Faithful. Will James Mitchell be there? Will the City Mini be there? This might be the last time we see Gaagz with the mask still on. Let's see. How do I get this off? What's going on here? Some of you guys' comments. Exodus versus JCP. I mean, I love the way Joe Kazana books his wrestling. I think Joe Kazana does an amazing job. JCP to me is what the NWA was. And I kind of wish it still was that way. Bobby says, I'm looking forward to seeing Mr. Grimm back in action on Power. Yeah, we're going to see Mr. Grimm's versus Thrillbilly. Now, Tim brings up a good point. Maybe we're going to see why Grimm's gets a shot at the national title. Yeah, I mean, the national title, look, a lot, let's be honest, a lot of these guys fall into these opportunities. They haven't done anything to earn them, and Billy just puts him in this position just because he's trying to get content. But Grimm's is a fun talent. I thought Grimm's was really, really good when I saw him, but then they fed Grimm's to Max, and Max ate him up. So now we'll see what Grimm's does against Thrillbilly. And like Tim says, but against Thrillbilly, surely he eats a pin, right? I mean, that's what we could assume, but who knows? Maybe there's something else that happens. Again, you do have to be patient. You have to let storylines be told. You have to let things unfurl. But I don't know. Noob says the MF still exists in 2025. As of right now, yes. NWA and CBS affiliates every Tuesday at 6. I mean, that would be incredible, Retro, right? If Billy's like, oh, yeah, we landed a deal with CBS. All right, man, cool. That would be amazing. But at this point, I would take Paramount Plus. I would take almost any channel. And the thing is, I don't say this because I'm trying to discredit the NWA, but being on X isn't, it's not doing it for me. It's not doing it for me. Chris Drummond says, why does the NWA rarely acknowledge Thrillbilly's Southern Eastern reign? Shake my head. Well, because it's not a title that is being defended on Power, so it's not a title that they really recognize. They rarely bring up any of the titles that are on the territories. Now, Billy had said that the U.S. tag titles are going to kind of go back to the territories. They did acknowledge Jeremiah Plunkett winning the Mid-American Championship, but outside of that, like, I guess we'll get a PB Smooth title defense in Forney. I guess that'll be on TV, or maybe that'll be in a YouTube exclusive. I'm not sure. Bobby, I'll get to that in just a minute. Actually, we'll talk about it now. What are my thoughts on Hailey J? I think she's so underrated. I think she could be phenomenal for the NWA. I feel like she's right there in terms of promo with Ella Envy. And Ella's gone. Ella, announced that she's departed the NWA last week. So now you have another opportunity for Hailey J to shine. Hailey J currently wrestles in WoW. She's we know that she's heading to Reality of Wrestling. I feel like a lot of talent will be heading to Reality of Wrestling. So is La Princesa Tiffany Nieves. Everyone wants to get an opportunity to work for the WWE. Reality of Wrestling is going to become a hub for those talents for the WWID. and also for talents just looking to get signed. So it's a great opportunity for Hailey J to continue to rack up wins in the NWA, but I can't think of putting anything on her long term as long as reality wrestling is a priority for her. If it's a greater priority than the NWA, that's problematic. As of right now, doesn't seem to be an issue, but you never know. I think Hailey J is, again, she's built for this. She's made for wrestling. Famously, our friend Jaden has said that he could see a lot of promoters being able to make money with Hailey J, and I don't know what the plan is for her, but I want to see her succeed. I want to see the NWA utilize her talents the best way they can. XTV sucks. I don't see the benefit of being on X at all. I mean, I guess that they're making some money, but Power right now reminds me of WCW Saturday Night. It's just two guys fighting or girls. It seems like storylines only develop on signature live events. Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. Where's Corey Graves going? I don't think Corey Graves is going anywhere. He enjoys getting a paycheck from the WWE. I think this might be part of an angle. Maybe they're going to switch him into a manager role, which I think would be perfect for him. I mean, he'd be able to take a few bumps while he's in the ring and be the voice of somebody that needs one. I don't think he's going anywhere. For those of you who don't know, Corey Graves had not been on SmackDown, where he was formerly one of the lead announcers, and they're moving him to NXT, and he was very vocal about that on X earlier today. Check it out on X. Power are the SLE. Yeah, the thing is, it's like at one point the NWA had this great model of having live events, pay-per-views, and TV tapings. Jeez, Retro. Jesus, man. So Power was your TV taping. So Power was great because you didn't need big time matches to make Power feel good. You used Power to build up your talent, and then those would be on your pay-per-view matches. And the live shows, which rarely happened, were just another place for talent to work. Now your pay-per-views are gone, and your signature live events have replaced them, and which are just drawn out TV tapings, and it's just doesn't do the same thing for me, I just don't I don't get it. I wish they could do something better. I said it earlier, like a pay-per-view. I think a lot of us would be willing to pay for a pay-per-view at this point. Noobs wants to know what's happening on tonight's Power. Well, we kind of talked about a little bit of it. It's kind of hard. All of these are just guesses, right? Like nobody really knows what the matches are going to be for sure. Card is always subject to change, but you've got La Princesa. No, you don't have La Princesa. You have La Pescadita taking on Hailey J. I think that's going to be a fun match on paper. I think that match will steal the show. You've got Tiffany Nieves is on my brain today, I guess. You've got Kenzie Paige teaming with her sister to take on the team of Caribbean Flow. Again, I'm not really sure why you have your world champion in a tag team match, but hey, that's cool. It is what it is. You've got Silas Mason taking on Mr. Grimm's. You've got the Miserably Faithful, Judias and Gaagz taking on Talos and Daisy Kill. And all of this it looks like it's going to be a fun night of wrestling. I just don't really know where any of it leads to. Again, I think these matches were taped before Saul win, so I don't think the continuity necessarily is going to line up. I think we have to take that with a grain of salt, that it just is what it is. It's not necessarily going to be a great storytelling night. They have these matches filmed. They have to release them at some point. But again, the model I think is flawed significantly, and I think it hurts the overall product. What's the big announcement? I don't know, man. I don't know. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen on Power tonight. I don't know what's going to happen, but it looks fun to me. Like I said, Pescadita and Hollyhood, I think will have a hell of a match. I think that'll be the one that steals the show. Brandon Davey, who was with us on TikTok now, he's here with us on YouTube. Do you think WWE should leave Penta on his own or with the LWO? And I'm going to say right now, Penta is a guy that doesn't need the LWO. Penta is a guy that can transcend that kind of gimmick. He can transcend lucha libre in a sense. I've got to see Penta quite a bit over the years, whether it be Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, whether it be in Mexico as part of the Crash or Lucha Libre AAA. I've got to see a lot of Penta over the years. Got to see him with AEW and Lucha Underground. And the guy doesn't need to be in a stable. I mean, he's a fantastic wrestler. And I think, I said this earlier in the show, Rey Mysterio is probably the greatest luchador of all time. And I don't think it's even close. He transcends Lucha Libre. He transcends pro wrestling. Hell, they're making cartoons and comic books about Rey Mysterio. But I think Penta is maybe the next guy that could be as big as Rey Mysterio. And I think he could have been that guy for AEW, but they didn't go with it. He was that guy in TNA. He was that guy in Lucha Underground. He could be that guy in the WWE. It'll be telling of what they do with him. They put him in the ring with Chad Gable. Is that not reminiscent of like a Dean Malenko Rey Mysterio match right off the bat? I got to go watch it again. But I'm excited to see what they're going to do with Penta. I like Penta a lot. Bobby says these matches from tonight are from October 6th. Yeah, before Saw When. And, and again, that means that these stories, maybe the backstage promos will help shape the narrative. But like for the matches, do they plan out these matches knowing full well what they were going to do at Saw When and then be able to craft those into a story that's going to set us up for Looks That Kill? Or is this just matches that were taped and we'll see what happens? I don't know. But yeah, so I mean, I think Power is going to be good tonight. I think tune into that. I think it'll be interesting to see what's going on NXT tonight. I think that'll be very interesting, especially with Corey Graves. What is he going to say? What is he going to do? Soto, what's up? I'll hit you back on Instagram as soon as I get on there. Did you like the time slot for Raw to end last night? I mean, so I'll be honest, I turned Raw on about 6:15 West Coast time, and I watched the end of the show. I saw them crown the new Intercontinental Champion in Valkyrie. I gotta be honest, I'm not super familiar with a lot of the WWE talent, especially the newer ones. So she was great. Her entrance was good. Gary Horn. That's my guy right there, Gary Horn. It's my brother. I mean, we could probably pass for brothers. Jesus, Gary Horn. It's good to see you, man. Gary might come on an episode of the Alliance guys soon. Maybe even Thursday. I'll have my people call his people. These were pre-Saw When tapings and post-Saw When tapings in Tampa. Oh. Okay. There's some insight right there from one of the guys involved with the NWA. And thanks, Gary. I think you look good too, man. I saw you the other day. You're looking sharp. Looking sassy. What's the next lucha event you'll be going to? Soto, I'll be I'm gonna head out to January 17th. I think that is the Crash down in TJ. Are you going, Soto? See the NWA title on the back. Show it. Yeah, man. You want to see the NWA title? I got a couple of them. I got the TV title. I've got the World Heavyweight Championship right here. Right here. The you guys can't see that one. There it is. That's the big gold, although it fell down. That's the 6-man tag from Texas. I don't have the national. Not a fan of the national title. Yes, Exodus Pro is having a show this Saturday, so there's lots of NWA content coming to you. And right now, it's time for us to head over to X to watch the NWA on X, exclusively on X. Thank you, Gary. I didn't know that. I hadn't seen any advertisements for that, but our friend Tim said that you guys announced that last night, so that's cool. I'm very excited to see that. Ryan Davis, what's up, brother? I'm glad you're here. Jordan Ventura, this is a pre-show that we do here on TikTok for the time being and on youtube.com/The Alliance blog for NWA Power, the National Wrestling Alliance weekly television show that you can see exclusively on x.com/The NWA. It starts in about 4 minutes. So we're going to say goodbye and thank you everyone for watching. Of course, we'll be back on Thursday with the other Alliance guys. I got to take that comment down. We'll be back on Thursday with the other Alliance guys with a new logo. That'll be episode number 2. You guys can join us there. And then Sunday, the other Alliance guys, Dave Scooby, Jeremy, and Tim, the Alliance, are all back on Sunday nights doing their thing. So again, I thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you guys for being a part of our weekly venture. And until next time, I'll see you at the matches.
Thanks for joining the stream. This has been a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. We genuinely appreciate your support. Would you consider subscribing so you'll never miss a future episode? I'd also like to remind you we do a live stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. before NWA Power. You can find us on social media at The Alliance blog. And until next time, we are The Alliance.